Hello and welcome to a new video. I am going to be counting down my top 25 roller coasters I have ever been on in the world. This is going to be a bit hard for me to edit, so I'm going to stop baffling and let's just go straight in with the top 25. And thanks for all the support. Starting off with number 25 is Storm Chaser, a max spinning coaster, the only one I've ever been on until the Extreme model. But this ride is a clone of Sierra Spark Sidewinder at Knott's Berry Farm. It's a pretty decent family coaster. At number 24 we head all the way to America, and I was very young, and that was Rockin' Roller Coaster. This is a Vekoma launch coaster, the old version, and is really good. I do prefer another Disney coaster over this because of the theming and all that, but Rockin' Roller Coaster, punchy launch, and it is very good for what it is. At number 23 we have a pretty simple roller coaster, and that is Oblivion. This is a bit overrated in my eyes. It's just a drop. Sure, it goes into underground, but it's just a drop in the end of the day. At number 22, we've got my 100th coaster cred, which is Kumali. This is the first ever Vekoma SLC I did, which is the smoothest one from what I've heard. And it's pretty good. Like, the forces are pretty good. I like the Cobra roll, the Zero G roll. Yeah, and it's a pretty solid coaster. At number 21, we have Expedition Everest, and now this is so well themed. They created a whole mountain for it. It's incredible, and people talk about Rockin' Roller Coaster, but I personally think this is better than Rockin' Roller Coaster. At number 20, we have Sick. Now, I've heard people say it batters their thighs, it batters their legs. For me, I had a pleasant experience. It is way better than Colossus, and especially with lap bars, I love the 5-4 heartline rolls at the end. At number 19, we probably have the craziest coaster on my list. That is Dragon's Fury. If you are only in a two people a car, spinning in the dark is mental. We literally did not stop. It's incredible what Dragon's Fury is. At number 18 we have the less better Nemesis, which is Nemesis Inferno. Nemesis Inferno is a really good B&M invert. I love the interlocking corkscrews, the first of their kind, and is it the first of their kind? On a B&M invert, it's the first of their kind. It's a really punchy roller coaster, and especially going on it at the end of the day, this year when everything was shut, it was a pleasant experience. At number 17, we head over to Old Town for Saw the Ride. This is one of the best themed roller coasters I have been on. It is incredible from how they've inspired from the Saw movies. You see the head trap, the bear trap, reverse bear trap in the queue. You see Billy himself. It is a really good coaster. It is really rough though. At number 16, we head over to Spain for Portaventura's Dragon Khan. If you sit on the outside seats, it's a whole different story. But if you sit in the inside seats, it is really good. It is so intense on the loops, and the Cobra Roll Zero dive loop, the interlocking corkscrews. This is a John Wardley classic, and it must be loved more. Heading down to the top 15 now. Starting off, we've got a coaster that I went to a couple of weeks ago, the big one. Now, the big one, I've heard people say it's really rough. It's rough with the back row. I went back and front, only 2 rows that I've ever done, and I did find the first drop a bit rough on big one, but I didn't mind the rest. It was really fun. Get a little pops of airtime, but it's really of the force and the speed for me. It's not really about the airtime, because we are going to go to a lot of airtime focused rides in a bit. because we are heading in the top 15. But big one, a pretty solid coaster. At number 14 we have Nemesis. Now, when I first rode it in 2022, I thought it was a bit overrated. But I am going to Alton Towers soon, so I can ride Nemesis Reborn, which just looks amazing. And hopefully that can go up some spaces in the next top 25. At number 13, we've got the coaster right next to Nemesis, which is Galactica. If you ignore the theming, which is quite questionable, you've got a really good coaster. Like, I never did it as air, but I would have preferred it as air. But even if it gets rethemed to Phalanx, it will be so good, and it's so underrated, this ride. At number 12, we have the Swarm, which is at Thorpe Park. This is a B&M wing coaster, and it's got a lot of inversions, 5 or 4, whichever one you count. You've got the weird tilted loop, you've got the heartline roll through the station, you've got a lot of head choppers. It is a really good ride, but I prefer another wing coaster over it, which is number 11, Mandel Mayhem at Chessington World of Adventures. The reason why I like this better than Swarm is because of the back row. I also like the Jumanji theme better than Swarm, because when I watched the Jumanji films when they came out, they were really good. And Mandel Mayhem is one of my favourite roller coasters. It's just so fun. We are now heading to the top 10 with Heidi The Ride. This is themed to the Heidi character from Studio 100, the people that own Plopsaland and Holiday Park and all the other Plopsa parks. This is a GCI wooden roller coaster, one of the family ones. It's not as thrilling as the likes of Invader, I think, or Mystic Timbers. It's not one of them. It's a clone of White Lightning Fun Spot. It is really good. I only went back row, and the airtime you get is really good. At number 9, we have a really underrated coaster in my opinion, and that is Uncharted El Enigma de Penitence. This is an Intamin multi-dimensional coaster, the 4th one and latest ever built of its kind, and it is really good. Sure, it might not have that much theming in the actual ride itself, but so does a Rock and Roller Coaster. This is such a good coaster. The sideways launch is really good and gives some good laterals. You get some pops of airtime, and it's really underrated. At number 8, we have Anubis The Ride, which is a Gershklauer launch roller coaster. The first one of its kind, I think. And the front row on that thing is just so good. You got some good hang time on the JoJo roll or Highline roll. There's too many terms for a roll. It's like you get some good airtime. Gershklauer makes some best airtime, dude. And that launch is just so good. At number 7, we have a really intense launch roller coaster, and that is Stealth. And number 7, Stealth is so fast. It goes 0 to 80 miles per hour in 1.8 seconds. It is so good, and it's now got a new world record, the world's fastest accelerating roller coaster. It's just so good. It's gone in a flash, and nothing can beat going into the brakes and just being like, wow. At number 6, we have the world's most inverting roller coaster, and that is the Smiler. This roller coaster is so good. You go through loads of inversions, you don't know where you're going easily, and there's only one problem in it, with my opinion, and that is the third last inversion in the Cobra roll bit, because I had to feel if my ears was intact because I knocked my head so hard into the restraint and it was painful. The roller coaster though is really good, and I hate the soundtrack. It's just so annoying how they just laugh. but it's really good, and we're now in the top 5. So thank you for watching to this point. So let's just go into the top 5. At number 5, we have the best Alton Towers roller coaster, in my opinion. It could change though when I go to Alton Towers next time. And that is Wickerman. Wickerman is a GCI wooden roller coaster. Once again, one of the family versions. And the airtime you get on that is just so good. You're just like you go into the size of the restraint so much, and you go through the Wickerman structure 3 times. You lose track where you're going, and there's just so much wood going on around you, and then you just go into the brakes with such high speeds, and it's so incredible how they designed that thing. And John Wardley finally has got his wish of a wooden coaster at Alton Towers. At number 4, we have the best roller coaster in the UK, in my opinion, and that is Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. 2 double-launched Mack roller coaster, going on more Mack launches this year, like Blue Fire and Voltron, and you get some good airtime on the back row. And the reason why I put this above Wickerman is purely because of the back row, Enzo. Just Enzo is a whole different story for Icon. Like, Icon is good alone, but I don't prefer it over Wickerman. But Enzo, once again, you lose out of control, and it's just so disorientating, especially in the Immelman, and it's just such a good coaster, and it's not overrated in my opinion. Time for the bronze winner, and that is Red Force at Ferrariland Portaventura. When I went to Portaventura, I was already amazed by the park, and Ferrariland did not disappoint as well. You launch so quickly into that top hat. That 367-foot top hat is the tallest roller coaster I have ever done, and you just go so quick, and the forces you get on that thing are so crazy, and no wonder it's my 3rd favourite coaster in the world. We have the silver roller coaster, and that is Shambala, both colour and placement in this list. This roller coaster is so good. When I first went on it in the sunset, it was one of the best rides I've ever had on a roller coaster. The airtime you get is so good. That speed hill is so good. The splashdown, you get soaked. Like, that is so good, and like, there's too many things to count with this coaster. It is literally the beast of airtime, in my opinion. But finally, the moment you have all been waiting for. It has not changed at all. Number 1, the golden winner, Ride to Happiness at Plotterland. It was pretty obvious because Anubis and Heidi. But this coaster is illegal. Like, if there was any coaster I wanted in my back garden, it would be this. Like, you spin mad on this roller coaster. The elements, the banana roll, which first of its kind, and the flying snake dive, is it called? I don't know. The 4th last inversion on Ride to Happiness. You get some good airtime on the 2nd launch. There's just so many things to say about Ride to Happiness and the other coasters on this list. And the theming just adds so much more. And there's one coming to Holiday Park, which I'm already going to this year, so got to go again tonight. But yeah, this has been my top 25. Loads of other coasters will be entering this list. I'm going to Germany, to 3 theme parks, Europa, Phantasialand and Holiday Park, to go on Expedition GeForce, Taron and Voltron. Thor Park, Hyperia. Like, Hyperia's gonna be mad. I'm going to Efteling as well for Baron and Jarson de Dulac. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing this year. and it's going to be my best year yet because I'm going to vlog all of them. So hope you enjoyed my top 25. Comment your top 25 below, or top 10, or top 5, whatever you want. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.